Good afternoon. Welcome to the Cup final day between the Stena Line Belfast Giants and the Guildford Flames. The Challenge Cup up for grabs. My name's Simon Kitchen. Delighted to be joined by Jeff Mason. Mace, last season, 12 months ago, you were a Challenge Cup champion. Your third trophy as a Belfast Giant. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, it certainly was. Thinking back on that day, it was a great day. It was a great victory for the team. Certainly a highlight of my season. One of the highlights of my careers as a Giant. Little different feeling this time around as opposed to a year ago. But yeah, it was certainly one for the memories.
It wasn't an easy trip. Obviously, the beast from the east had come in. It had taken a detour to get to Cardiff for the Belfast Giants players and fans. It wasn't an ideal build-up to the weekend.
Yeah, no, it certainly wasn't. It wasn't the ideal situation. You'd like to be in there a day early or at least on time for a regular game and get your proper warm-ups in. But sometimes I think it almost helps you out because you kind of have to just push everything else out of your mind and just get right to it. So certainly we got the result we wanted anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter indeed, but with the whole build-up to the game, you're playing the Cardiff Devils in Cardiff, a partisan crowd, if you want to put it that way. You took 550 fans from Belfast. The underdogs, it's sort of flipped round this year. The Belfast Giants will be the favourites going into today's final.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other night. That last year I think all the pressure was on Cardiff. They were playing at home. They were the top team in the league. Everyone expected that they were just going to kind of roll over us. And certainly the Giants this year would be the favorite coming in, and people would expect them to defend that title. So it brings a whole different kind of atmosphere and pressure, and it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out with the home team Cardiff not being in the final. But really excited to see hopefully the Giants lift the cup again.
The Guildford Flames, we've had a lot of success against them this year, but let's go through the stages of getting to the final this year. The route to the final, it's the quarter-final for the Belfast Giants against the Dundee Stars. An 8-0 thrashing of the Dundee Stars in the first game. They lost their starting goaltender before the game with injury. So the route to the quarter-final was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's certainly, if you're Adam Keefe and the Giants, an ideal situation in that first game. You pretty much build an insurmountable lead, and you've kind of done all the hard work in that game, and you just got to get through the next game. But no matter what's going on the other side or what team, if they've got injuries or whatever, you still got to show up and do the job, and they certainly did.
The Guildford Flames faced the Sheffield Steelers. Sheffield this year have been an up and down season. It hasn't been ideal for them. A lot of changes. They lost their coach around about the same time as they qualified for the Challenge Cup, and for the Guildford Flames to come out of that as well with a 9-8 victory was very impressive.
Yeah, I think most people would think that ahead of time would have thought that Sheffield would find a way to take those points. They're a quality side, or they have the ability to be a quality side, and they've certainly strung some really good games together over the course of the year and some really bad games together over the course of the year. So certainly all the credit to Guildford for being able to seal that first round victory over Sheffield.
Guildford then moved on to a semi-final against Nottingham, and again their first game really did put them in pole position getting into the second leg.
Yeah, anytime it's a two-leg aggregate score, to come out and play really well and give yourself a lead going into the second leg is really, really important. And again, another team that Nottingham's been up and down this year, and they've changed coaches as well and had all kinds of issues, but certainly have the ability to beat you. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in the league that expected them to come up with a victory in that series.
The Belfast Giants faced the Glasgow Clan, and on paper it shouldn't have been the Clan. The Cardiff Devils were the favourites to move on from that quarter-final against the Glasgow Clan. But meeting Peter Russell's side in the semi-final, it certainly wasn't straightforward for the Giants.
Yeah, I think most people, including myself, would have expected Cardiff. That would have expected the road to the final would have to go through Cardiff to get to Cardiff. But all credit to Glasgow and Pete Russell. They certainly, after a bit of a slow start to the year, picked it up and really were playing well and were able to knock off a very good Cardiff team. And so it was no easy matchup for the Giants, and trailing after the first leg, to bring it here at home and to be able to bring it back and advance to the final and have that opportunity. You always want to, if you're the defending champion, you always want to have at least an opportunity to defend that cup, and that was what the team was able to do.
A lot of guys from Belfast have returned to the league this year. Like Darcy Murphy won it last year, Blair Riley. There's talent throughout that lineup itself. And going into that final, the semi-final, the second leg, the first period was probably the best 20 minutes the Giants have played this season.
Yeah, Glasgow's played the Giants tough all year in league and cup games, and I really think that second leg you really saw the top Giants players step to the forefront and put on a solid effort, and were able to obviously come away with the victory and advance to the final.
The head-to-head against the Guildford Flames this year for the Giants has been very, very impressive. 5 victories against the 1 loss back in October against the Flames itself, and that counts for nothing getting into a one-on-one game.
Yeah, and sometimes it's almost like sometimes it can almost create a little bit overconfidence going into something, which I don't think will be the case here. But look, Guildford's a very quality side. They don't have the majority of their losses, if you look back over the course of the year, are all 1 or 2 goal games. They don't really get blown out very much. They work very hard. They've got some really fast, skilled players, and I think that they've done a really good job to be extremely competitive since the moment they came into the Elite League last year.
Head-to-head against the Guildford Flames. Now, we're looking at it from a perspective of how they've got on this season in the Challenge Cup. So when you look at the details and the stats that have matched up against the Guildford Flames, the Belfast Giants have had a great start to the season. Kyle Bond leads the Giants in points in Challenge Cup. I think he's played 10 games already. He's scored in 7 of those games, and he's going to be a big part of this puzzle on this afternoon. Yeah,
I mean, he certainly will be. He's a top player for this team. He has been all year. He scored a lot of big goals. He competes with and without the puck. I'm not surprised to see that he's the leading scorer against the Guildford Flames this year. I think this is going to be a very hard-fought, tightly contested affair. But as the results, the beginning of the year have gone, I do expect that the Giants will come out on top.
Special teams can play a major part this afternoon. We all know that the Flames have got a top line on the power play. Kelly Ackerd with a bullet of a shot from the point itself, but they have a lot of tricky players down low. Belfast exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, for both teams, if you're a fan of either team, you want to see your team stay out of the box, because both teams have a very good power play, very dangerous, and as we know, most finals are decided by a few specialty teams plays here or there, or a goal or two either way. So certainly for Adam Keefe and the Giants, they want to stay out of the box, and prevent from Guildford from having too many chances on the power play.
We talked about Kelly Ackerd. He's going to be a really important puzzle to solve for the Giants this afternoon. Another player is John Dunbar. The two of them together, along with Waters on the power play as well, and Jesse Craig, they've been real stalwarts for the Flames in the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, they're very dangerous players, skilled players, good speed, compete very hard. As you said, they've been top performers for them over the last 2 seasons. I've been really impressed with Guildford since they've come into the Elite League. I wasn't really sure, how they would fare, and they've certainly fit right in and been very successful. And it's a testament to what they've done to be, their second year in the league, and here they are in a final.
And we touched on Kyle Bond a few minutes ago. Kyle Bond, 11 goals already in the 10 Challenge Cup games that he's played. But another player who's scoring goals for fun, he got his 44th goal this season on Friday evening against the Glasgow Clan, is Darcy Murphy.
I mean, I don't know what else you say about Murphy. He's such a, kind of heart and soul of this team. He plays so hard. He's got great speed. Obviously has a great finishing touch. And I think if you look at the Giants season, him and his line mates got off to a little bit of a slow start, as did the team. And as soon as they started picking it up, the team picked it up, shot to the top of the standings. And, the line of Murphy, Riley, and Rutherford has really carried this team. And certainly, you'd be hard-pressed to look past Darcy Murphy at this point as an MVP for this team.
We get a great opportunity to look at the Belfast Giants on GiantsTV every weekend. This season, for one, we talked about it on Friday night. Blair Riley has been exceptional.
he's, you know, to me, he's been the best player in the league up to this point. I haven't seen anyone that I thought has dominated games the way he has brought a full, you know, he plays such a full game. He's good defensively. He's out there at key points defensively for Adam Keefe. He scores big goals. You know, he wins lots of puck battles, throws big hits, isn't afraid to fight for his team if he has to. So I would be, you know, I mean, I know we're biased and we see the Giants the most, but I certainly, there's no one I would really look to as an MVP over him.
Teddy Beskorowany, maybe?
Yeah, you could make a case for him as well. He's been spectacular for the Giants. I mean, we sing his praises week in and week out. He's such a calming force back there. He's so good with the puck. He makes big saves when he needs to. You know, he's certainly been all the Giants could have asked for and more this year in bringing him in. And, yeah, I mean, certainly he will play a really big part in this final.
Teddy Beskorowany will get the start for the Belfast Giants this afternoon. We believe it's going to be Chris Carosi for the Guildford Flames. And again, he's had a really good season so far.
Yeah, he certainly has. I mean, obviously Guildford, you know, coming into, usually when your team's coming into a final, you know who the goaltender is going to be. Certainly from a Giants perspective, you know, we know who it's going to be. You know, Carosi's got good numbers this year. And if it is him, I expect him to come out and play hard for his team and have a good game.
How do you see it going?
I don't like to predict scores. I see the Giants winning. I think they're going to defend the Challenge Cup trophy and bring it back to Belfast.
Well, I hope you're right, miss. The game is live on Icetime TV. It's £15 after 1 o'clock, so be quick. I believe it's only £12 up until then. So from Jeff Mason and myself at Belfast Giants TV, let's go Giants.